Hey, good day, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Andrew's Life. Today, on this video, I will be doing a video of Lewisburg, Tennessee. Now, Lewisburg, Tennessee has always been one of my favorite places that I ever lived. Now, I used to live down here in Tennessee many years ago. I mean, back in the mid-2000s, I moved to Nashville. Stayed in Nashville for about a couple of years or so. Then I moved to a suburb of Nashville called Hendersonville, which on a later date, I will be doing videos of Hendersonville at least. Nashville, I'll do Nashville at some point. I can't promise you when, because like I told you, I do not like a lot of traffic. But anyways, I moved here to Lewisburg, Tennessee back in 2008. Stayed here up until 2010. Before I made the worst financial mistake of my life, which was to leave Tennessee and move up to northern Ohio. So for those of you that might be from Ohio that are currently watching this video, I apologize for the shout out. Well, no, I really don't apologize for a shout out. I'm just keeping it true. Well, anyhow, I thought I had my notes of Lewisburg, but I don't. But, well, anyhow, Lewisburg, Tennessee has a population of a little over 12,000 people. This community, Lewisburg, Tennessee, has grown at a rate of, I want to say, 6.5% as of the 2020 census. So this city has grown quite a bit, because I remember when I lived around here, the population at that time was around 9,000 people. Now, when I used to live here, people here were very friendly. The majority of your communities here in Lewisburg were very neighborly. And housing prices here, once upon a time, used to be very affordable. Now, to be completely honest, I mean, I told you guys that I wanted to move back down south. To be completely honest, this city would have been my first choice of communities to move to again. I mean, if housing prices here were affordable, I would have moved back here in a heartbeat. But by the time I had the money to move anywhere, the housing prices in Tennessee have skyrocketed like crazy, as many of you who watch these type of videos may already realize. So yeah, housing prices here in Tennessee, period, has went through the roof. So, needless to say, I can no longer afford to live here in Lewisburg because housing prices have gotten way too expensive. But, like I said, I love this city. I love this town. I mean, every time I travel down south, I always make an attempt to stop off here in Lewisburg to drive around and see what's going on with the community. whenever I want to stop off somewhere on my way back home to Indiana, and I'm traveling down south, this is typically my stopping point to where I'll come into town, get me a hotel room for a night, and then before I head to wherever I head to, I'll stop off around here, do some driving around, and just see what's going on with everything. Every once in a while, I might run into some old neighbors, a couple of old friends. We might get together, talk, shoot the shit, and then just keep it moving. But I can't emphasize enough of how wonderful this community is. I mean, for the most part, it's peaceful, it's quiet, not a whole lot of riffraff. Now, for those of you that currently live in Lewisburg, if any of that has changed, feel free to leave a comment below and let all of us know. I mean, I haven't lived here in Lewisburg since 2010, so I'm just going off of my memories of Lewisburg, which I've had some very good memories of Lewisburg. Very good memories. I mean, this is my favorite community that I ever lived in. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, once again, Indiana is a wonderful place to live. Indiana's been good to me, but, you know, I'm gonna keep it all the way real here, because that's what I try to do on my videos. I try to keep it as real as possible. And to keep it real, would to let you guys know that Lewisburg is one of my favorite places I ever lived. It just is. Now, Lewisburg is an hour south of Nashville. So, yeah, Lewisburg is an hour south of Nashville. It's 35 minutes away from Williamson County, which is the wealthiest suburb in the state of Tennessee. And it's 20 minutes. I want to say it's 20 minutes southwest of Columbia, Tennessee. Which Columbia, Tennessee is a slightly larger community than Lewisburg. I mean, Columbus, Tennessee, I take that back. Columbus, Tennessee, I would say is close to triple the size of Lewisburg. So yeah, Columbus, Tennessee is 20 minutes northwest of Lewisburg. I want to say it's either northwest or it's northeast, one of the two. But anyhow, Columbia, Tennessee is north of Lewisburg. I'll just leave it like that. Now, as far as it goes for Lewisburg, now Lewisburg, like many smaller communities, if you're looking for a ton of entertainment and excitement, you're not going to find a whole lot of it here in Lewisburg. So, if you're looking for some excitement in your life, then you're going to be better off driving an hour into Nashville or driving 35 minutes or so into Williamson County. Now here in Lewisburg, they do have a little park that does have a walking trail that goes around the cemetery down there. I can't think of what the name of the cemetery is, but there is a cemetery down there. And there's also a walking trail in that area as well. In fact, I'm close to the walking trail right now. Now, I'm not going to go to the walking trail today because my timing is tight and I have other things I got to do today. But there is a nice little park and a walking trail here in Lewisburg. And this is, of course, this is downtown Lewisburg I'm driving through right now. And to live here, like if you wanted to move here to Lewisburg, I would say the lowest price I've seen a house that was habitable was $130,000. And for $130,000, what you get here in Lewisburg will be a house that sits on I mean, whoever, I gotta do some math real quick in my head. Well, here in Lewisburg, basically, for that $129,000, you will end up with a house that sits on about 5,000 and some square feet of land, which I think that's a lot of money to pay for such a small lot. At least for me it is. Now I'm getting ready to turn on Route 31, which is going to be the business district here in Lewisburg. Now here in Lewisburg, you do have all your basic amenities. I mean, you have a Walmart, you have most of your chain restaurants, and you also have the last time I remember, they have a Kroger, and I believe they have a Food Lion here too. At least they used to have a Food Lion. So you know, anything you need to get done here in Lewisburg, you can get done. And of course, there are places where you can take your vehicle for service if your vehicle needs to be serviced. So most everything that you need on a daily basis, you will find here in Lewisburg. You're not going to have to go to any of the neighboring communities for the most part. believe off the top of my head, I believe the population density here is about 900 and some people. Just off the top of my head, that's what I believe. Now up here will be the park that I was talking about. This is the park I'm talking about. What you would do is you would enter around this area and then you would walk the trail. Which the trail basically will go around downtown. And right in that area, you will find the cemetery. And down here will be the, if I can remember right, it's been a while since I've been here in Lewisburg. Let's see what's, I think right here is the library. Yeah, this is the Marshall County Memorial Library. We're gonna drop by it real quick. But yeah, for those of you that are looking to move to Tennessee and you don't want to pay the extra high housing prices of larger communities like Nashville or the suburbs, here's the library, folks. Then, if I were you, I would at least come down here to Lewisburg, check it out, look at a few houses, and just see what you think. Now, if this community is too small, then there's, like I said, you can drive 20 minutes down on Tennessee Route 50. And you can look around for a house or an apartment or whatever in Columbia, Tennessee. Now, this is the west end of Lewisburg. This is the west side of Lewisburg. This is going to be the poor section of Lewisburg. Which, when I was living here, this was not at all a bad neighborhood. Although this is the poor section of the city, the neighborhood here was not bad. It was every bit as quiet and safe around here as any suburb. Over here, looks like over here you got some low-income housing areas right here. But yeah, for your $125,000, this would most likely be the side of town that you would be living on for that price. Now the east side of Lewisburg is a little. Now the east side of Lewisburg is a little. I don't want to say it's better. I'll just say the east end of Lewisburg is a little more expensive than this side of Lewisburg when it comes to housing prices. But I would say that to live on this side of town, you're going to be looking at about $100,000 and some for a house all day. Now, if you want to live in a better community than this one, then I would say be prepared to spend closer to a couple $100,000 for a house. I mean, that's how expensive housing around here has became. I mean, like I said, the last house I've seen that was up on the MLS for sale was priced at $129,000. And that house was on this side of town. And the yard size was a little over 5,000 square feet. Now, here you're going to have some newer houses. Now, FYI, and I had to learn this the hard way, whatever you do, if you choose to move here to Lewisburg, do not, and I repeat, do not buy a new home. I mean, you will do far better buying an older home here in Lewisburg. Do not buy any of these newer homes. Because when I was here in Lewisburg, I purchased a brand new home. I mean, it was brand spanking new. I mean, I was the very first person to move into this home. And there was so much crap wrong with the house, it wasn't even funny. Now, did I hire a home inspector like I was supposed to? Yes, I did. And the home inspector screwed me over. I think him and my realtor at that time, pulled one of those little stunts where the home inspector talks to the realtor. The realtor gives the inspector a kickback if the inspector lies to the potential buyer. And I think that's what happened to me back in 2008 when I bought my house here in Lewisburg. The inspector I had lied to me about the condition of the house. He lied to me about a whole lot of stuff, I believe, looking back at that situation. So whatever you do, do not buy a new home here in Lewisburg. If you do, you will be extremely sorry that you did. Because the house I purchased in Lewisburg here, in fact, we're going to drive by in a minute. I mean, if you look around here, you got some more new houses being built. Like I tell you people, whatever you do, do not buy these nice looking pieces of garbage. Do not buy them. Just leave that shit alone. Don't even mess with them. I mean, these newer houses are garbage. Straight up and down, they're garbage. So if you buy a house here in Lewisburg, I can't emphasize enough, buy an older home. Don't buy these newer ones. See, I'm gonna back up here. See, this house right here used to be my house. This is the house I'm talking about here on Thompson Road, on Thomas Road. This is the house I'm talking about. This used to be my house. I purchased this house brand new back in 2008. Do not buy a new house here. Like, anyhow, like I was going to tell you guys, like that house I just showed you, within months after purchasing that house, shingles began to fall off the roof. My air conditioner went out. Like the house next to it, which was the house next to it that looked like, I'm going to back up and show you guys what I'm talking about here. I'm going to back up a little bit so you guys what I'm talking about. It's getting close to the end of the video. I'm already at 27 minutes. So y'all know I'm going to be doing a second video of Lewisburg. I can't leave this city without thoroughly showing you guys the city, man. This is my favorite city right here, man. This is my favorite city so far. And I'm trying to find a community similar to this in Alabama. But so far, this is my favorite city. See this house right here? My neighbor at the time, he told me that one day he went to go take a shower and he fell through the tub. He fell through the tub into the crawl space. Man. Yeah, like when you go around here, you'll see some older houses. And again, when I say older, I'm talking about houses that were built maybe in the 70s or 80s or at the latest early 90s. So, like, if you're going to buy a house here in Lewisburg, these are the houses that you're going to want to buy. You don't want to buy these newer homes that they just throw up overnight. Because if you do, everything under the sun is going to go wrong. Like it did with my house in Lewisburg, the one I just showed you on Thomas Street. So, if you buy a house, buy something that was built. I mean, your best bet is going to be to buy something that was built in the 70s. Because to me, if you buy a house built in the 70s, it's old enough to where the workmanship was decent. The quality of the materials and everything was good quality. But at the same time, it's new enough to where all your basic updates have been put in place, such as your electric, the way they insulate the building, and the plumbing. And for those of you that are into trailer communities, here's a nice large trailer community down here. Now, from what I hear, it's a pretty decent community. Alright folks, I'm going to end this video. It's already at 32 minutes. I'm going to cut this off and I'm going to continue on the next video. Everybody have a good one. You know what you got to do.